Hello and welcome back to another episode of Stu's Reviews in collaboration with Fintech Finance, one of the leading news platforms for financial technology. It's that time of month again where they asked me to take a look at some form of financial gadget or fintech. This month they want me to take a look at something called Starling. Starling is a well-established technology-oriented challenger bank in the UK. What makes it special is that it has an established system of current accounts, as well as joint current accounts, and lastly, they also have business accounts. So let's deep dive into the features of all three and find out if Starling is one of the best ways to manage your money in this technology-oriented world that we live in. So being a challenger bank, it has all of the standard things that you'd expect from a brand new technology-oriented, gadgety type bank, in the sense of it gives you a great deal of control married up perfectly with your smartphone. Now before we actually dive into the app, let's run through what Starling has to offer. Firstly, current accounts and also joint accounts. Both of them are covered under pretty much the exact same benefits of the accounts. Now, interestingly, Starling is one of the only challenger banks that currently offer interest on your current account. Okay, before you start getting excited, it is very, very minimal. You're looking at 0.5%. on balances up to 2,000, and then 0.25% on balances of up to 85,000. So not a massive amount of interest, but it's free money and you can't argue with that. Now, overdrafts and loans are also available in Starling, whereas some of the other companies don't offer that. Fee-free travel as well, so you can spend abroad and you can withdraw money from ATMs abroad without being charged. And when that isn't good enough, you can actually open up a Euro account, which allows you to send and receive in Euros in Starling or in the Starling app, which is very handy indeed for those people that might have, say, a flat in Barcelona that they're taking rent for. I don't know, but there's plenty of reasons why you'd want to do that. You can also deposit cash directly in any post office directly into your Starling account. Now this is one of the biggest benefits for people, especially like me, who live in a rural area where the nearest bank or nearest bank branch is about 40 minutes drive away. No joke. However, the post office is about 10 minutes drive away. So it means that I can drive there and cash any money that I have in cash. Now other challenger banks don't really offer this. There's Monzo, for example, that do offer something very similar, but it uses something called, I think it's PayPoint, which in my eyes is a bit dodgy, because the way it works is it's supported by different sort of corner shops where you can go in and give your cash over to the dodgy clerk who's without a doubt going to go spend it on cigarettes and alcohol. It does make me a bit nervous handling money, but it also means it's a lower limit as well. In the post office, you've got a limit of about £20,000, whereas in these PayPoint things, I think the limit is 300. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's quite low. It's not anywhere near as high as the deposits you can make with Starling into the post office. Now, this is a huge benefit as well for business holders. Now, they also offer a business account for predominantly people like sole traders. At the moment, you can only have one card and one access to the app, but I know they are working on a sort of multi-card or multi-account business setup type thing for limited companies and partnerships as well. So that is coming, so stay tuned. But as for the account for sole traders, the fact that you can deposit large amounts of cash in the post office is massively important and beneficial, especially if predominantly you work cash in hand, i.e., I don't know, you sell crafts or something at fairs. It's an ideal way to cash in your money at your local post office. Alongside this, you've got access to integration with things like Xero and Free Agent for easy accounting, which is all right, and it's completely fee-free as well. You don't have to pay anything for the business account, which I really like. Very, very handy. Now, enough about what they offer. That is predominantly the things or the accounts overview. But when it comes to fintech and financial gadgets to help you manage your money, the app is the most important. So let's dive into that. So the app is nice and purple. If we pop in here, it takes a couple of seconds. You can log in with your face. Give it a moment. There we go. I guess a little bit of a criticism here is that it does take a couple of seconds for it to load up. Now, at the moment, this is currently showing my current balance on my personal account. And admittedly, I don't use my personal account that much. There's a very good reason for that I'll go into very shortly. But I can tap on this little arrow at the bottom and I can see all the history of payments and moving around money. I can also send money here through this. I can pay people, or I can pay one of my own Starling accounts. You can see here that I have a business and I have a joint account with Starling. But one of the really nice things I like about this section is that I can request money. Now, if I tap on this, I can send somebody a direct link, say for £20, money. Oh, can't type today. Well, let's say November. Money, send. So this is the message now that I've been sent. What I can do is I can tap on this and it should open up in Starling directly and I can pay me straight away. But also, if you don't have Starling, you get the option of paying with things like Apple Pay if you're using the iPhone. Now, this is really handy if you just want to request some money off a friend and they don't have things like Starling. They might have something like Monzo or N26 instead. This is a real nice way, or a really good way, of integrating payments from other people using different banks. But I think it might also mean that if you can use Apple Pay, you can use credit cards to pay people money. That's interesting. Not tried that myself. If you have tried that, let me know in the comments. But back to the app overview. You've got information about the cards. You've got lots of stuff you can do here for card control. Now you can see I've blanked out a big section here. That's because it gives you all of the information of your card. It gives you your card number and your security code and the expiry date, which is really good because if, say, you haven't got your card with you and you want to buy something online and it's asking you for all the details, you can get access to that directly in the app, which is a nice touch. I can also turn off the card as well, lock the card if it gets stolen, or if I'm abroad and I want to lock it, which is overall really nice. So now we've seen my personal account, let's pop into my joint account. Now the reason I want to go into my joint account here is because it will give you a bit more information about overall spending, because this is the account that I use on a daily basis. Now I can tap on spending at the bottom and you can see here it gives you a really nice overview, very similar to a lot of challenger banks nowadays, on how you've been spending your money. As well as this, I can go into the home section and tap the arrow at the bottom, which brings me up all of the retailers that I've spent at, unlike in my other account where I've just been doing transfers of money. Now the last thing I want to show you, the reason why I'm in my joint account, is the spaces. Now the way I generally manage my money now is every time I get paid, it will automatically filter into all of these spaces so that I know how much budget I have for that month. So for example, I have dog money, which is food for the dogs or medicine for the dogs or whatever it is they need. I've got petrol, I've got leisure money, I've got money to pay for presents for people, I've got savings for a holiday. I'm going on to Scotland later on in the year, which you will see over on my travel channel. But I'll be going around Scotland reviewing as many whiskies as I can. Overall, this is a lovely way of interacting with your money, and it's a really easy way to budget because it just filters into these pots. A little bit of a criticism though is that if you, say, have a phone bill, you can't choose for it to come out of a pot. You actually have to move that money from a pot into your actual main account balance, which is there for that money to essentially come out of your account. It would be nice to see Starling integrate something where money can come from pots directly, like bills, but it's not a big deal. It would just be really, really handy and a much easier way to see how much money you've got to spend overall. Lastly, this is the business account, and again, It's very, very, very straightforward. It's very similar to your current account. And as you can see, it's so easy to switch between your accounts as well by tapping your face icon at the top and switching your account. But I have blanked a lot of that out because I don't want you seeing my account details. But overall, it is a comprehensive app. There's nothing super extravagant or incredible about it, not like the N26 app where it had a couple of really interesting features such as hiding your balance with the wave of your finger, but it is a very comprehensive app and it does everything I need it to do. So overall, I like the app quite a lot. So the real question is, do I recommend Starling over any of the other challenger banks that I've tried? And the answer at this moment in time is definitely suited to me more than other available options. And the reason for that is that I can have my business account, joint account and personal account all in the same app. And those accounts are very well established. I know other challenger banks are thinking about adding in business accounts or have done or are implementing them just about, but these are all quite new products. Starling is the only one that has had a business account for quite some time, so it is very well established. And it means now that all of my stuff is in one place. If you're not a business user, then I think Starling app is a good competitor to the others. But if you are a business user in the UK at the moment, and you do get a lot of money via cash, Starling is an absolute no-brainer because the ability to pay in cash at any post office in the UK is a huge benefit for many businesses, I know without a doubt. So if you are a sole trader, without a doubt Starling is possibly one of the better options available at this moment in time. And that concludes today's review. If you want to check Starling out for yourselves, I implore you to do so because it is completely free to use, as always with most of these challenger banks. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can take a look. Other than that, I'll see you back for another episode of Stu's Reviews soon. Before you go, consider supporting me on my Patreon page by clicking here. It'll give you some great discounts on stuff I've reviewed and helps me to continue doing reviews. If you want to see some fun stuff, click here to see the highlights of Stu's Reviews. And, as a friendly reminder, click this button to subscribe.